dots that will always have our cardinal directions for where we are aiming. You'll also see down in the right bottom corner of your screen a little list of stuff. For instance, mine right now says Quick Time, Shoulder Arms, Officer 6 Wisconsin, Pistol Ball, Colt Walker 1847 information. This is giving you all the information. This gives you your movement, whether you are in the quick time or in the double quick. It gives you the position of your rifle. For instance, you'll all be at the ready. It'll give you your rank, and it will give you the unit that you are spawned in as. It'll give you what your weapon is, whether or not it has a bayonet. None of you will see it right now, but if it has a bayonet, it'll say parentheses B. And it tells you if your information out of line or skirmishing. It is mostly accurate. Sometimes it can be a little buggy because, again, this is an alpha. Just keep that in mind. It is very useful to use that. Now, another thing that we'll do is, let's say those enemies, they aren't right in front of us. They are off to, say, the southwest-west. Well, we need to give a firing command from this position because we don't have the time, or we don't want to leave this spot for whatever reason. So we have the obliques. Battalion, firing at the right oblique, southwest-west.
Firing at the right oblique.
Take aim.
Firing at the right oblique. Take aim.
I can see down here there's going to be people aiming to the back of other people's heads, towards the left end of the line.
Fire. Did any of you get shot just now? Hoping not.
I think I did.
Ooh. Okay, it looks like no. We lucked out on that. So this is what I was saying about making sure that the line is as neatly organized as possible. When we aim at the oblique, we are aiming down the length of our line. You may have noticed the massive suppression some of you would have gotten from those shots, because yes, our own shots will suppress. What that means, if the line is too curved, you will actually aim into the back of everybody's heads. And while it may be visible right now in all the smoke and confusion, we have literally had it happen. I've seen it. Where people take aim at an oblique and they shoot their buddy in the back of their head, they get a TK. And yes, that TK counts for tickets against us. That is not what we want. We want to make sure that everyone can freely aim, and that's why we call the dressing so importantly, not just in being tight against each other, but making sure that line is as straight as possible, unless we're ordering like a line refusal or such, because we need to make sure as many people can aim as possible. Battalion, taking aim at the left oblique.
Taking aim.
Firing at the left oblique.
Left oblique.
Fire! Go ahead and get those crispy volleys, some crispy reloads.
Yes.
Yes, smack.
If it's questionable, if you're going to shoot somebody in the back of the head, do not fire.
Yes, exactly. It's more important that you keep ourselves alive. This also brings up another important thing, which is pushing. Sometimes when people are dressing, they will push. They will prod people out. They'll get pushed out of formation. Do not bitch about it. It's not time for argument. It's not time for, oh god, you're pushing. Oh god, we're in a fucking battle. People are dying around us, and you're complaining about getting pushed a little. You go to the end of the line. Anytime you get pushed, you go to the end of the line, typically left end of the line, and you get in there, you ask the file closer, let me in, and you get brought in. If you've died and you respawn, you come back to the line. You go to the end of the line, you let a file closer let you in, etc. You always make sure that you're avoiding clumping, that you're avoiding causing like arguments, because I've seen it where people get pissed off because they got pushed, oh, I missed my shot, etc. I don't give a fuck. What's important is that we keep working as a team, that we keep working together, and that means sometimes having to swallow ego or being in the right and just having to swallow it and do what's best for all of us in order to win. The more organized we are, the faster we move, the faster we get volleys off, the more likely it is that we win, and we do win crushingly quite a bit. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into a little bit of movement command, and then we're going to start some melee work. So, battalion, right. Face.
That means you turn to your right. It's pretty straightforward.
It's just 90-degree turn to the right, guys.
Now you're learning, boyos.
Now you're learning,
Left side.
boyo.
Brady, why'd you just press X? We might do that if we go to the double quick, but not till then.
Cooper.
So, when we move out, we again have preparatory commands. And when we move out, it does not mean the entire line moves out. It means we act as like a game of Snake, if you've ever played that on an old graphing calculator or on a cell phone, and a little bit of inchworm, in that we're not all going to move out at once. Instead, you wait for the person
There
in
you
front
go.
of you to
Now
start
you're
moving.
learning.
This is in order to maintain our line. If everyone starts moving right now, especially because of server lag and just because of people being slow or people being too fast, it's going to cause a massive clump that we then have to sort out. I've actually run this and timed this at attack review. In order to form a line like this long into a firing line, from column into line, it takes about 20-30 seconds. Like this long of a line. Okay, it takes a while. If we're clumped, it can take a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Hey, Gomez, just go to the.
Just because of the clump, because of the mess.
Good,
So we want to make sure our
Yes,
lines
busy.
move out as columny as possible.
Tap X for me.
So, battalion, at the quick time, forward.
At the quick
At the quick time.
Dixon, prepare the double quick.
That's all the preparatory.
Shoulders, please, guys.
March.
Which usually would be marching at the double quick, but this
Wait,
is a
Gomez,
different
what did you say?
scenario.
You're going to move out at the march at the shoulder arms.
You guys were at the ready.
All right, go.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well,
so
I mean, I don't know.
Very
that
good,
that
very
doesn't
good.
matter because as long as when they start moving,
I
they're
know,
going
I
to
know.
go to
Shoulder
the
arms,
shoulder.
press X.
You
That's all
got
I
it, bro.
care about.
Thanks,
I care
Fury.
about people being at the
Love
right
you,
shoulder.
Fury. It's all good, bro.
Hey guys,
Don't have an aneurysm.
Fury, you can take up the rear and make sure that they're doing the right thing, I guess.
God damn it, I'm back here. You don't need
Well,
Fury.
let's go, man.
All right, let's
Actually,
go,
technically, yeah, there's always be an officer in the rear, too.
with Scott.
Get up.
Why?
Hey,
would-
Battalion!
come on, Fury. Get over here at the rear.
Buy
buddy.
files right.
Five holes,
March. What that means is the front file closer is going to make a 90-degree turn to the right. Oh man, I timed that well. Damn. Battalion, buy files left. March.
Five holes left.
And you are going to basically play a giant game of follow the leader. That's really all it is. This makes sure that we're, say, avoiding things. So let's say that there was a... Let's just say that this is a defilade that we're moving along. What that means is that we are keeping in that defilade as much as possible if this was an in-game environment. It ensures that we are not moving out of cover, even if it seems a little bit obtuse that we're not just cutting across the right angle. It actually helps organize and make sure things are moving smoothly.
PTS.
Yes.
My question to you is for the officers, NCOs in line when we're saying,
Yes.
the orders. Are we saying the buy files right? Like we're in the back row. We're not even getting close. You're already buy files.
Yeah,
left.
you're
We
going to
it
say
when we
buy
get
files. Yeah, you're going to say it when it's ordered, because then that's
Okay.
going to put people in people's minds. Okay, we're going by files left, and then we're going by files right, or we're going by files right, and then we're going by files left. It's giving the chain of sequence that they're going to do. It's kind of like coding, to be honest. It's coding for human beings. You're creating the chain that they're going to do.
Sprint up,
Now,
catch
when we
up,
go
come
to the
back.
double quick, we first enter
I
the right
just
shoulder
want to do
shift,
that.
and then we go to the double quick. And again, we step off just as the people in front of us. So you wait for the person in front of you to start going double quick before you tap C and enter it. So battalion, at the double quick, right shoulder shift arm.
Double shoulder shift. R.
We all press X. We go into the right shoulder shift, not because it saves
Cooper,
stamina or anything in
press
game
X,
currently, but
full
because it is
swing,
realistic.
press X.
March.
Yeah, press X, guys. Press X. Yep, press X. Good.
Battalion, buy files right. March.
Buy
Files
files right.
Buy files right.
Keep an eye
And
out
you
for
are
the
allowed to
pivot
sprint to
point,
catch up.
boys.
Jim Bob is perfectly right. He's up here in the front line saying that. If you start to fall behind, that's just normal. That's the server. That's nothing you've done wrong. Just go ahead, sprint to catch up, then pop back to the double quick and right shoulder shift again.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, we're moving at the double quick up there. My bad. We're still moving at the quick time back here.
Yeah, that's normal given the length of this line. This is why we don't fight in 50-man columns in game. But it does give very good
should.
practice. Yeah. One day. Battalion, halt.
Oh,
Oh,
Keep moving, boys.
When we call halt order,
Moving
that does
till you
not
catch
mean
up.
you just stop in place. That means you close up to the person in front of you. Also, just as Jim Bob's saying, when you come in, you go to the quick time as you get close to where the line is halting. The reason for this, as some of you just saw as Harvey got pushed out by this, is that inertia is a thing that exists in both the real world and this game. The example I like to use is when Hammer called a halt. He was at the end of the formation, started calling for people to form up to his right, and about a 20-man clump of people, all sprinting, we were at the sprint of this, comes pounding into him, trying to all halt on his shoulder. He got pushed like 20 yards.
Once you pass,
So rather than halting where the line was supposed to be, he was like 20 yards to the left, and actually put us right in front of where the Rebs were about to charge. Not good. Not where we wanted to be. So, when we call that halt, you can double quick right up until it's about to stop, then you pull to the quick time. If you're sprinting, like I am down the line right now, you drop to the double quick, and then you drop to the quick time, and you just close it in nice and neat. It's zippers together, and everybody is in a nice line.
Alright, Harvey, step up.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just go over a brief review for about the next 15 minutes on how we do melee in this game, because 9th New York does things a little bit differently than some other units, mostly because when we see other Reb units or other Union units, they mostly have this very passive reaction to melee charges. They either charge in as a swarm or as a one giant clump hitting one specific point, or when they're on the defensive, they're basically holding. We often hear it as we run in. We hear spear wall, spear wall, spear wall, where they're trying to form into this massive spear wall bayonet, which would work great if in game you could actually impale people passively, but you can't. What we do is a very active counterattack and reactive defensive method that we affectionately have started to call curling. Partly I named it that because I like the sport of curling. That's another story. But also because it's actually what we do. When we charge, or when we counter-charge, which you will constantly hear, we don't expect you to sit there passively. We expect part of the line to hold and the other part of the line to curl around the flanks of the enemy and actually charge into their attack, to get into their sides, to get into their rear, to sow confusion. This is how we often crush these units, because they will be tightly compacted, and when they're tightly compacted, it's kind of like Hannibal at Kane. You run into a situation where they've got guys who can't actually do anything, where they're just sitting there stuck in a position while everyone's getting killed around them. We actually have run this on our own server, and what we see is that they will TK each other massively because they start swinging their bayonet and they're not hitting anything.
Pushed out into the back. You just
Can I say something real quick?
Yep.
Alright, so if you do not see someone in line and people are not moving, there is sometimes a visual glitch of not seeing a person there. Do not go to fill a spot in the line. Fill in at the very end, file it down. I just watched people push people out of the line, which can then screw everyone up.
It's annoying.
Yes.
Alright. So we're going to go ahead and get to work on that. So battalion, left face.
Left face.
Left face.
Battalion, fix.
Fix.
Bayonets.
Bayonet.
Can I borrow someone's bayonet from my sword?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. Put it on.
Can I borrow your pistol for my sword? For my sword?
Alright,
can I borrow
now,
your pistol for
I
my
want 1st Battalion to dress this line.
First battalion!
If you do not know what 1st Battalion is, that is 9th New York Company A, 51st. The entirety of 51st and 9th A Company.
Do you want us to take 28 of us tonight?
I will call take 28 due to numbers.
Got it. Mather, you're with us.
Go ahead and go with 1st Battalion.
slap him around, jump up.
Everyone stand.
Cooper, I believe you are with 1st Battalion. Yes, you are, so you'll go with 1st Battalion. 2nd Battalion, go ahead and dress up.
Nice.
Take a look at these numbers.
Nice and pretty.
Jump up, make it look nice and pretty, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Good fucking.
You look nice and pretty.
Hold the fuck
Let's
up.
see how perfect we can get this. Gloss, take a step right.
I'm talking to you now.
You got a pretty mouth.
Who were you talking to?
Still take the call.
51st, you need
And
some
then
more
TCR
numbers.
and 51st.
Oh, shit.
We'll take company. We'll take B company.
No.
Story of our lives.
50, you know what?
Come on down.
Because of the numbers
Tom,
situation,
King.
A company
Come on, boys.
is with
King,
you.
one step right.
See.
Yeah. No, because then the numbers will be weird.
What about company D?
Split it in
Take a
half.
step
Same
right.
number. Yeah,
Split it in
okay.
half.
I'll call it Corporal Joe Buzz,
Alright, that's fine.
Private Charles, Private Corsica. Please go with 1st Battalion.
And then Ney York, step out, let Cooper get in.
Welcome aboard.
Sure. Okay.
Oh my god.
Who
are you?
Alright, that looks about
That's fine.
even now, right?
Alright,
Cool.
dress it up.
I can't count past 10.
Joe Buzz,
You can count?
let Corsico in.
Tracks.
You're gonna close on the
First
left.
battalion is yours.
There you go.
Take them out.
Alright,
in
Charles, take a
that
step
direction
right.
to like the bottom of the.
Alright, I was
There you
gonna
go.
take him
Definitely.
over the corn.
Cooper,
Nah,
when you
nah,
look
take them
around,
to
you're
the
left
left
right.
one.
You're turning
Can we go
right
to the
now.
trees?
No.
Nice and
We'll be
pretty.
doing
Nice
that
Alright.
next week.
Sexy 90s.
Charge bayonets.
Alright.
Charge
Charge,
bayonets.
Forward at the double quick.
Forward at the double quick.
Double quick. First battalion, forward at the double quick.
We're gonna be going to the bottom of the defilade.
Let's go, bro.
So tracks, just get them formed up facing east. So you'll want to have them about
Alright.
face when you
Are we
get to
there
your
yet?
line.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
No, we're there.
Now,
Are we there yet?
when we attack,
Jesus Christ.
and I'm going to allow both sides to just do what we do for this. In the live fire, we'll go ahead and have the Rebs
I think we're there.
act as
Yeah,
op
we're
On
force
this
for
one,
that.
boys.
But for this, what I want you guys to focus on is how we maneuver. Pesky, go ahead and bring Second Battalion up to that line.
Alright. Dress up
We're
on
around
Joe
Tolstoy.
Buzz. Dress it right to Joe Buzz, guys.
When we charge,
Just right,
we do not just passively charge straight at the enemy. I'll say, Susan, why do we not just charge straight at the enemy?
Tolstoy, move down a bit and also turn around.
In Discord, please.
Pick a
Facing the wrong
charge.
way.
Because we want to hit their flanks, not their front.
Yes, exactly. Why do we not want to hit their front?
Tolstoy,
That's
please
where all the
face
guns and
the-
sharp things
face
are.
Behind.
Yeah!
Might be
Yeah,
fine.
guys.
To the line.
So if you look at First
Fix up
Battalion
this
right
line.
now, they've
Mom,
got
this
guns
looks nice.
pointed at
Let's
us. Oh no,
go.
they've
Going
got
quickly.
sharp
Betsy,
pointy
Charge.
bayonets
We
pointed at us.
became-
Double
okay.
oh no. It's not very good. You don't want to have to charge at them. Now we're going to go ahead and
Alright.
pretend like we've been volleying at each other for a while and we're
Take
trying to
aim.
execute charge. Maybe we've
aim.
caught them off guard, etc. It's just a
Aim.
practice. But and we'll do a little bit more in depth
Say
next
fire
week. Actually,
you
plan
and
for that in
recover
West
arms.
Woods.
Recover.
However,
Say- yeah,
when
say
we
back.
charge,
Oh,
we're not just going to
Bang.
charge straight into their teeth. That's
Bang.
bad.
Come on.
That gets us fucking killed. It makes us really easy shots
Come on.
against us.
Down a bit.
Instead,
Come over here.
it is the
From
job
Storms,
of the
right,
officers
right,
and the
right.
NCOs to
Storms,
execute
Mentor,
a plan
Yanni,
for that
and
charge.
Step
Even
forward.
if it's literally they've just been ordered, fuck it, charge bayonets,
Yeah,
charge.
I'm trying to fix it.
Those
here.
NCOs need to start calling things out. Like, follow me, to their left, to their
Going,
left,
yep.
to their right,
One
to their
step
right.
up and then one step
Curl
to the
around
right.
them, get on their
Oh my God,
flanks,
you guys are
etc.
shifting again. They
Do
did
it in
this
game,
again.
call them out.
Shinks-
Also,
Tolstoy,
when
come
we
on.
charge,
Alright.
Come over here.
especially for
Huh?
that final
Left
Don't
side
look
of
at
the
this
contact,
line. Step forward.
NCR.
Scream.
Tulsi, Fizzy, Must.
9th New York screams
You guys
Zuzuzu.
take a
Alright.
step forward and
51st
dress
screams
right.
hit him again. 28th screams
So
fa
Tulsi
blah,
right here.
scream insults,
There you
cuss,
go.
play
Alright.
sound pad shit. Volcom
Yep,
likes
yep.
to play a Bashar
Must.
al-Assad
Sorry,
propaganda
yeah,
song
ping
that's
right there.
become a meme. All that
Just
kind
a
of
bit
stuff.
right,
There you go.
a bit to the
There's a
right,
reason
Tolstoy.
for
Nice.
that.
We're nice and
Both
fast.
battalions,
Dress.
make
Come
as
on.
much noise as you can right now.
Make as much noise as you can.
In game.
Quietly.
Quiet.
I should only have to say
Note
that
it.
once.
I just want to go ahead and
Crap,
note
take
something.
step
Silence in
forward.
the ranks for 1st Battalion 2. How long did it take 2nd Battalion to
Never
realize I was trying to say silence in the ranks?
Quite a
Not too. It took a
longer,
while
but
there.
longer than we should have.
Long enough to get shot.
Tulsi,
When you
take
make a
step
lot of noise, what you're actually doing is you're overloading their comms. Because remember, they're in the same Discord or TeamSpeak or etc. calls that we go into. If they make a shit ton of noise, if we make a shit ton of noise, it scares them. First off, we have literally been referred to as the zoo train from the 9th New York. I've literally heard 2nd Corps literally report back, we've been zooed. It
I
works.
have that file.
It works as a propaganda tool. The Rebs will often do stuff like play a fucking locomotive train coming in.
Send it to
It's
me.
scary. I'm going to be honest when we hear that, especially if it's coming from an unexpected direction, because, oh god, they're charging us. It makes
Terrifying.
people panic in the game just like it did in the real world. So we use that. We overload their comms. We make sure that they can't give orders, that they don't know what's going on, that they're unaware of what's going on. So we want to continue to encourage
Got raped by
that you
Thomas the
scream,
Train.
that you yell, that you scream zoo as much as like you cuss them out, etc. I mean, Katie used to go off there trying to sell them Gamer Girl bathwater.
Oh,
Do
yeah, I
shit
remember
that
that.
fucks with them because it's psychological works even in a game.
Tracks, I'll sell you my nudes.
Do we have any
Sorry,
questions
but
on that?
No. Alright.
Yo,
All
I'll
right,
sell you
cool.
my
So-
myself.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say
Describe my
2nd
OnlyFans.
Battalion, you're going to be charging. 1st Battalion is going to be defending. I want active assault and defense from both of you. 2 strikes, and then you take a knee to signal that you are dead. You will be able to hear someone bayoneting you. Officers, you may participate, but swords only, no pistols, just for the purpose of this drill. One final thing, no firing. Actually, yeah, both battalions take aim into the air.
Aim into the air.
Into the air, into the air, aim at that sun. Fire.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes?
Alright, so one thing that we also do have to realize is if we're in a map where it's in the middle of corn, anything like that, we should not just start zooing or anything
Yes.
in the middle of the corn because that will give away where we're coming from.
Yes.
If it's
Only
ever
on
a
the
concealed area,
contact.
Miller's cornfield.
Miller's Cornfield,
Westwood.
Westwood. As I said, I have a plan
Somebody
for Westwood.
got a glitch in their pistol. They've shot about 9.
So the point is, actually, that's a good point. I need to bring that up. When we are in the corn, on say Miller's Cornfield, or when we are in Westwoods, we had this happen last week. When people are talking in game, you guys might not be aware of this, but the enemy can hear you too. They can hear you for quite a distance if they've been quiet. They will know we're coming. They will know we're there. Now, when we actually execute the charge, when we're literally like hitting them with a charge, yeah, make a shit ton of noise. It'll confuse and scare the hell out of them, and I've seen it. I've seen it on Eastwoods. I led like 3 charges into the back of Rebs who did not see us until we were in stabbing distance when we started screaming zoo zoo zoo, and it freaked the fuck out of them, and we managed to win Eastwoods, which is one of the most Reb biased maps in the entire game, and we crushed them on it because we were quiet in the woods. We had one point where we were following the entire Reb line for like 30 seconds just to get close enough to them. They never saw us. We didn't make a single word until we were literally right on top of them. When we call quiet in the corn, when we call quiet in the woods, it means quiet. NCOs, it means no repeating of orders. Sergeant Majors, it means repeat orders only in game. Make sure that things are tight. We need to be quiet because otherwise the enemy sees us.
Yes.
So, yes.
Before we charge, on both sides, can you allow an opportunity for the commanding officers of both lines to give orders to their NCOs as to what they want them to do?
Normally I would for this practice, but right now I want to train a little bit more realistically. I'm going to go no. Rely on NCO and officer initiative. Come up with a plan as we go, as we fly, because you know what? Typically, sometimes, yeah, we have time to come up with like an assault column or such, and we do like a planned by the book of what our moves are going to be. But other times, it's literally, oh god, they're there, volley, charge them right now. There's no time to come up with that plan. Yes.
I just wanted to remind everyone that right now, we are all at charge bayonets. In the heat of battle, you have to remember that the preparatory command is charge. Okay, that doesn't mean you charge your bayonet and run forward. You wait for the preparatory command and then you put your bayonet forward. We're having an advantage right now because we're all at charge bayonets. This wouldn't normally happen where we're sitting at this for several seconds or minutes.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have my lines act like red lines so they can see the effectiveness of how you guys are gonna go about doing it.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Got it.
All right, so
Okie dokie.
Pasky, you may charge when ready.
Alright, hold this line. Do not break away.
Oh yeah.
No, we are going to hold when you
Spear.
get
We are
down.
spear. We're
Spear.
done right. We don't know how to move.
Give them nothing but take from them.
Stop that.
Oh
god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. I don't like it. 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 Grace! Fuck this line.
Hoping that's the recruit signal.
I got you!
Okay, everybody stop stabbing. Everybody stop stabbing.
Clear.
Say 2nd Battalion won that.
Clear.
2nd Battalion, return to your position. 1st Battalion, reform your lines.
First,
That's the power for sure.
Oh god, I almost
First off, noise, good. Lots of screaming, I like that. Second off, curling. Very good. 2nd Battalion was led onto their flank and then brought in on them. The main thing I would say is that it can also be effective to charge onto both flanks, but good initiative Good moving down the line. Initiate second battalion, go ahead and reform.
Just right. Now we're gonna do it the good one.
So 2 things that I saw though during that. First off,
Don't do that.
1st Battalion, you may have seen just now the problem with a rebel static spear wall, or any kind of static spear wall. You guys get trounced. You guys can't really react, you can't get all your bayonets on focus, and you can't really get in on their formation. That's the thing. But second off, I saw a lot of people just stab and stand there and wait there, stabbing. That's a no. I wanted to see how many would do that, and I saw a bunch do that. When we go into the charge, you stab once and run through. It's something you'll hear a lot.
Alright, close up.
Stab once, run through. Stab once, run through.
Let's go.
Captain or Second Lieutenant Paskey, why do we just stab once and run through?
Tolstoy, move over a
When
little
we
bit.
stab once and run through, the guys behind us can finish them off. If we just stand there, we're going to sit there being a sitting target for both the enemy and for TKs.
Exactly. You're going to have people crashing into your back, stabbing away.
Bradley.
They're going to kill you, not the enemy. You're going to have the enemy attacking you. They're going to kill you. You're going to make a clump. People can't get past you if we're going over fence or if we're going into a tight position. We can't get all our bayonets on the enemy. You don't want that. You want to stab once and keep going. And you stab and you stab and you keep going. I have had times where I literally ran down the entire red line stabbing, ran back up the red line stabbing, ran back down the red line stabbing, because they don't know how to react to it. Because one thing that you'll find is that if you're running down the length of a line, or you get in behind the line, you're going to find people reloading. You're going to find officers. You're going to find the flag bearer. You're going to find guys who are defenseless, who don't know what's going on, who just spawned in and have nothing. You want to kill them. You want to sow dissension and confusion in the ranks. You want them to be following you to the rear. That's pulling guys away from where we're actually focusing on. You want to make them question where the attack is coming from. So if you stab once and you keep running and everyone keeps doing that, you will be able to clean the board with them, because people behind you are going to basically stab and start killing the guys that you just stabbed once as you ran down that line. If you manage to get curl, and this is what we'll often do, we will curl on them, and we'll do this with the live, and curl on both of their flanks.
Yes. That
means you'll literally have 2 lines going down their line, stabbing once, and as they meet and go past each other, they're now killing rebs.
Are you going
as they go along that
To my
line,
left,
you will
I thought
completely
was
wipe their line.
That's what I thought, but no,
It's very easy.
Okay.
It's very possible
got
to do.
Tolstoy
It's just
over,
a matter of practice and remembering to make these motions count. So I'm going to call it again. 2nd Battalion, go ahead and make a charge on 1st Battalion.
NCR,
This time,
right.
try
NCRs,
curling
get
on
ready.
both of their flanks.
If you're on the far
NCOs,
right.
call it out with just a follow me to the left, follow me to the right, etc. And going on them. 1st Battalion, act the same way that you did, and then we're going
If they start
to
trying to
flip
charge
it.
again to the left or the right, I need the people on the outside of the line to curl into them.
Yep.
What you're
Paskey,
going
you may
to
take the
on
lead.
side, alright?
I will.
Let's dick on you.
Yeah, let's
Sort of
back.
in the middle, we're gonna see.
Kill
Get
them all.
in the gap. There you go.
Wait, are we defending still? Are they?
Yes.
We are
Alright, they're moving in!
Here they come.
Alright.
They're splitting into 2 groups.
Hey, company, take a step back and reform a little.
Middle,
like,
stay straight
like,
for
hurry
a
up!
Trooper, take them
Alright.
right.
Come on, boys. Come back.
Very nicely done. 1st Battalion, good attempt at a reaction there and charging into one of the flanks. Good job. That said, I think that's over. Another thing that we often call, we will start calling clear, all clear, etc. That is very important that you start doing that. If you start calling all clear, it doesn't matter that we can literally have a case where there's a couple enemies alive. But when we've got we've done a charge and 20 of us are alive and there's 2 enemies left, and we're still stabbing, what do you think's going to happen?
Somebody's gonna get stabbed who should not get stabbed.
You're going to get a lot of fucking TKs. It's easier to go clear, and be like, oh no, there's one enemy. Okay, go kill him. There's one enemy. Clean up, clean up the enemy. rather than us going through there and just we're still stabbing,
battalion.
we're still going, the bloodlust is still going. Your screen is gray, you can't see. You maybe have been forgetting to tap T so that you can see who has tags and who doesn't. Maybe they're 12 South Carolina and they've got blue uniforms. We end up TKing each other in those situations. We want to avoid those TKs. So, first battalion, we're going to go ahead and switch. You guys will be charging. Second battalion, I want you guys to act exactly as first battalion. God, fucking artillery.
Close it up right, let's go.
So first battalion, go ahead and charge when ready.
Roger.
Second battalion, you're going to try to hold that charge. Yes.
Does it look like we lost part of people on our line? Because the lines look
It
very...
kind of does, yeah.
Game crashed.
D company.
Go for
D
it.
company's not here.
Hey,
We
the
got
game
this.
crashed.
Alright, we're still
Oh,
gonna do
game
this.
crash
We
for you.
got
Yeah.
Game's good for most people, I think.
Okay, that's good. Then. I was just saying if anyone else did.
Continue to close it up right.
I
Let's
was
go.
one of those crashed.
I did.
Break them left.
Yeah.
Did the game crash for anybody else?
Yeah.
50
Yeah.
Okay, you know what then, in that case, since people are crashing, we're just going to go over to the live fire. So I'm just going to restart the server, everyone leave. We'll switch over to live fire, I'm sorry.
Dan, can we just try this?
Can you?
I'll just let you go first as the charging, okay?
Alright.
Okay.
Are
you
ready?
Can you fix my server admin thing? I don't know what happened.
I'll try. Or talk to Emerson on that, actually, he'll know better. I'm going to bring Clarks up here, tell him what we're doing, and yeah. Hey Clarks, we're going to reset and start doing practice on hills. We're going to be restarting.
Fire one more time.
Alright, stop, guys.
Alright, that was the last one.